2 to go. Can Newcastle make it 5 wins out of 5? 15 points out of a possible 15. My word. But Brentford is a very different prospect to what West Ham was on Wednesday, who basically handed us most of our goals. Eddie Howe's got some big decisions to make, very big selection decisions, but you wouldn't bet against this Newcastle team in the form we're in to go and then get the win. The Brentford match previews coming up, Newcastle fans, so make sure you stick around. Welcome back to Black and White Banter, you lovely Newcastle fans, and a very happy Easter weekend to you all as well. There's no better bank holiday in the year than the Easter bank holiday. You don't get 1 day off, you get 2 days off. Happy days. So I hope you're all probably knee-deep in beers, maybe going to celebrate with Jesus. I don't know. Filling your face with Easter eggs. Regardless, there's a football match coming up. Brentford away, as I said at the start of the video, second away game of 3 in a row, which is very, very unheard of. No action at St James's Park for a couple of weeks. But we are going into this game absolutely flying. And when I say absolutely flying, I mean 7 goals in 3 days and 1 conceded flying. I mean going away from home to London and seeing Cockney tears everywhere as we battered them 5-1. West Ham to the sword. Man United to the sword. Wolves to the sword. Nottingham Forest to the sword. We are turning teams over at the moment. And I tell you what, as I said in previous videos, we are picking up form and in an amazing time. Absolutely amazing. Obviously, I've had time to reflect on that West Ham game, which is only a couple of days ago. The fixtures are coming thick and fast. We didn't actually play that well. Yes, the scoreline suggests it was one of our best performances of the season. We were very clinical in front of goal, which is new. We haven't been clinical. This Newcastle team hasn't as a rule. And that's probably scary to think about because we would have been even higher in the league than what we are now if we'd taken more chances across the season because defensively we've always been sound. But West Ham, we were actually quite sloppy with the ball. I think if you compare the West Ham performance to the Man United performance, 2 very different ones. West Ham opened their doors, loose as at the back, one of the worst defensive performances I think this Newcastle team will ever come up against. It was like, come on, there's the 3 points, see you later. But we were clinical, and that was amazing to see. We were aggressive, we were intense. All wonderful attributes that we know has made this Eddie Howe team so successful so far this season. And that's what we're all about. We've done that for 2 games running now. But I think what's a big test is to be able to go 3 games in 6 days and keep up that intensity. And Eddie Howe's already teased in the week about making more changes. Now, I'm going to get onto teams in a second, but obviously let's talk about the opposition first. Brentford are having an absolutely fantastic season, and I'll be totally honest with you, from a personal point of view, Brentford's one of them teams I don't really have an issue with. I don't. Quite likeable, really. Nice little stadium. I went there last season. I've got a ticket for tomorrow, so I cannot wait to go down again. Lovely little cosy stadium. We don't get many fans. We get an allocation of about 1,700, so a very hard game to get a ticket for. You boys got one though. And yeah, apart from the fact they play in red and white, not really too much to dislike about them. They came up last season, they had that bounce, and normally second season syndrome is a big thing in the Premier League. They've gone one better this year. Very hard to play against. I think they'll come out and attack us. Brentford are not going to sit in and play on the counter-attack. I think they'll only maybe play that kind of style, maybe at the likes of Man City, and I think it's just not in their DNA. I really don't think it is. So I'm confident going into the match tomorrow, because if a team's going to open up against us with our defence the way it is, as solid as it is, we are going to create chances. And yeah, I think it's going to be a very difficult game, very different to Man United and West Ham in so many ways. I think it could be a good spectacle though. I think for the neutral, I could be wrong on this, I might be eating my words, it'll probably be 0-0 now I've said that. Could be a good game on paper for the neutral. And it's, to be honest, on the field, it's a game of it's a story of informed strikers. We've got Even Toney, never really given a chance at Newcastle. He was a bit young when we got him. Absolutely banging them in. I know he's probably going to get done for God knows how long for his betting issues, his gambling problems. If Mitrovic is getting 8 games for nudging a referee slightly, God knows what Even Toney's going to get for that many gambling charges. So I don't think anyone's going to touch him in the summer. I would have said Newcastle should go after Toney, as Wilson's getting a bit older, because he would be a good fit. but no one's touching him. So you've got Tony at one end. Sorry, I'm holding my phone for this video. I normally have it on the tripod, but my tripod is broken. So sorry if I'm moving. Holding my phone is not the nicest. I'm improvising for this match preview. That falls onto the selection headaches. Eddie Howe is going to have a sleepless night tonight. His missus is going to be getting nothing out of him. If she's got Good Friday plans to go for a nice meal, all he's going to be talking about to her is who he's picking in this team, because he's brought Joe Linton and Wilson in against West Ham. They've scored 2 goals each. So, I mean, fair play, Eddie. And if you'd ask me right now who I want to play tomorrow, it's a difficult one. I mean, strikers, I'm going to go ISAK, because I think ISAK's a class above. Wilson looked a different animal on Wednesday, which was amazing to see. Running the channels, aggressive, holding the ball up, poacher's instinct back, hunger back. Was that because of Mikel Antonio's podcast? Was that because he knows he always plays well against West Ham? We don't know. But ISAK, for me, can still do things that Wilson can't, from what I've seen since he's come back from injury, in terms of his touch on the ball, his link up. He just does classy moments. I mean, his finish on Wednesday with the hands on the hips. Oh, stop it, Alexander, you dirty Swede. So he would start for me, but that's not an easy decision to make. And the fact we have 2 strikers chomping at the bit to get in this team, I can't remember the last time that happened. I cannot remember the last time Newcastle had 2 strikers who were both banging form, chomping for that starting position as this team is doing well. So that's a great problem to have. And Eddie Howe's probably got headaches, but good headaches. The type that you don't take paracetamol for. Now, with the midfield, this is the more tricky one for me. He kept the wingers the same. I don't want Jacob Murphy and Maximin to change. I would like them to stay the same. I've got no doubts they're capable of playing 3 games in a week. If he needs to make changes during the match, you've got the Gordons to come on. Of course you do. But it's that Joe Linton-Willock dilemma, isn't it? Or maybe it's not. Maybe you bring someone out. I mean, you know, your least favourite central midfielder for Newcastle, I guess most would probably say Sean Longstaff. Yes, he does a lot of good work for the team. We know he does. Joe Linton can do a lot of what Longstaff can do, but I still think they're very different players. Joe Linton still has that engine to drive forward aggressively. And he's a bit of a shithouse, let's face it. Joe Willock's in the form of his life as well. I would probably revert back. I can't believe I'm saying this because I love the man so much and he's just banged in 2 goals. I would maybe revert back to Willock, Longstaff, Bruno that was working so well before he changed it up against West Ham. Joe Linton, it's difficult. This is why I would like to be Eddie Howe. For me, Willock's just in really good form at the moment, and that's the reason why. And I know people are going to turn around and say, well, Matthew, Joe Linton's in good form. Yes, he is, because he's just banged in 2 goals. But Willock, he's just been in form for a good few matches now. He really, really has. And Longstaff, I still think he does a lot of the work that gets unnoticed at times. He puts in really solid ground, and that's proven in the results we get. And yes, he's not always great on the ball. Yes, he can be a bit sloppy. Yes, he's not the most creative of players, but he does like to get forward. So I would go Willock. I would keep the team the same as what we saw against Man United. ISAK and Willock. So I'd revert back to that. Now, what Eddie Howe decides to do, I don't know. I think there's a chance Eddie Howe might make even more changes. Anthony Gordon's looked good when he's come on the last 2 matches, in my opinion. He's looked bright. He's a £45 million winger, just sitting there waiting for more game time. Maybe Eddie Howe thinks Joe Linton deserves to stay in because there's not many midfielders come back and bang 2 goals in. And that will be justified. Whatever Eddie Howe decides tomorrow, as we always do, I'm going to back it. Whether it's Wilson, whether it's Joe Linton, whether it's Gordon, I'm going to back it. I still think defensively there's an argument that Matt Target could come in and play a game and get his fitness back up. I really do. Dan Burn didn't start the game against West Ham badly. He grew into it and he did get better. I will say that. And again, Dan Burn's been quite solid, so I'm not hugely pushing for him to come out. I was a month or so ago when he played sloppy back-to-back games. But yeah, whatever Eddie Howe goes for, he's the main man. He's Sir Eddie. He knows what he's doing. He's got us 4 wins off the belt. Now let's go and make it 5. If we can win at Brentford away tomorrow, Man United was a statement. West Ham, how many goals we scored was a statement. I think we're almost there. We've got Aston Villa next week in what will be a huge match, again, if we win. And, you're looking at the table, we want to stay with Man United. We want to stay there with them, the awful lot that they are. We really do. And Man United, I haven't looked at the fixtures. I don't know who Man United have this weekend. If they win their fixture, we don't win. I mean, would I take a draw at Brentford? Of course I would. It's an informed team, a very good team at home. I mean, they've had a couple of draws more recently, but they're an informed team with a very good striker up front. But I think we can go there and win. I do. I really, really do. Why would I not think this Newcastle team, who've got the bounce back, got the style back, got the purpose back in terms of how we play again, the aggression, the intensity, the hunger. I'm backing us, I am, and I'm going to go down there in good spirits on the bus tomorrow. The match vlog will be coming, by the way, so make sure you whack that subscribe button now. Hit the notification bell because you will be notified tomorrow night when that match vlog drops all the way down to Brentford on the party bus. I'm going to go for Newcastle 2-1. 2-1 Newcastle. I don't think we'll keep a clean sheet because they do have a lot of bounce in them at home. That's what I'm going for. Newcastle fans, if you've liked this match preview, drop down. Even if you're not new, if you're already a subscriber, give us a like. That goes a very long way. Sorry I'm not in the tripod today and I'm holding my phone if it's been a bit shaky. Technical issues in the Black and White Banter headquarters. Let us know in the comments what your predictions, who you would play. Would you go Joey? Would you go Willock? Would you go ISAK? Would you go Wilson? Let me know what you would do if you were Eddie Howe. And hopefully this Easter weekend can be celebrated in the right way. Not because Jesus was resurrected or all that good stuff, because Eddie Howe's Mags have made it 5 wins off the belt. Enjoy the weekend, whatever you're getting up to, and I'll see you on the match vlog. How are you, lads?